just start with questions here. Raise your hand. I'm not going to keep lists. Just raise your hand and I'll go. Okay, start with you, Aaron.
Well, as a leader on this team, I mean, what we want to see from the group over the next few weeks as we
One of the biggest things that I think we came to agreement about when we all met was just everybody being bought in, everybody being committed. Nobody's looking to take the short route out. We know what we did last year. We know what we have to work on. So everybody just be bought in and committed to what we have to do.
You guys got leaders and playmakers at every level of the defense with you and Henry and Jordan. What's this defense capable of, you think?
I think we're capable of being better than we were last year. I think towards the end, we started to gel a little bit more. And I think we just want to roll that over in the spring. And I think that's one of the biggest things. Just keep gelling, keep molding together, everybody playing together, everybody playing fast and physical.
Will, what can you tell me about some of the new faces on the defense this year, especially a guy like Chris Braswell coming into a bigger role this year?
All the young guys have been really doing a good job. Chris, he's been doing a very good job learning the plays, stepping up, taking that next step, and he's been doing a phenomenal job.
We talk about the personality of this defense. What do you see from it forming already, and what's this team capable of?
The personality of this defense is just to be mean, play fast, hit people in the mouth, stop the run, get them on third down situations so we can get off the field.
Yeah. Do you see any parallels between your freshman season and Dallas's last year? And then how have you kind of seen him progress? Is it in a similar fashion to the way you progressed?
Most definitely. Me and Dallas had so many bets, and he broke all my records. So going into this year, I think he's been very humble. He's still learning. He hasn't been comfortable with anything. He's still looking for that next step to help him get better and reach his ultimate goal. It's just to be better.
Chase.
Will, being a returning captain, do you feel a sense of personal responsibility for leadership for this team?
Oh, most definitely. I think that's one thing that we really lacked of last year was just really good, strong leadership. And I think the leadership group this year so far, we have done a really good job of getting everybody to be bought into, the standard and everything that's going on here.
How do you personally get better? Can you give us like a couple of specifics of things that you're trying to improve right
now? Just right now, just working on my leadership skills. Right now, I've just been focused on my schoolwork. Springtime is a good time to work on that type of stuff. So I've been working on my books, because I'm trying to graduate in December. So that's kind of what I've been focused on right now. Yeah.
Michael, Charlie.
You talked about leadership, and what did you learn from last year's group that you want to take to this year?
I think the biggest thing is, don't be scared to say things to people. You know what I'm saying? We're all brothers, no matter how they take it. It's all love at the end of the day. So not being scared to step on people's toes and, just being that vocal leader, because people are going to respond. It's just how you deal with it and what you say and how you say it.
I know it's only been a couple months, but what are your earlier impressions of Coach Hustler?
He's been great. He brings a lot of energy to our room. He's young, he's energetic, and I think he'll be a good fit for us, and everything's been good so far.
Have you put into perspective the historic season that you had last year? Is that set in what you did? And do you have any goals for this year?
Oh, of course. I have goals every year. And those goals are going to be even bigger and better than the goals I set last year for myself. It has hit me. It was crazy to think about it, but I'm just focused on next season, getting ready to prepare for that season.
How different, if at all, this year is the approach going into the season with kind of more of a veteran defense, whereas last year is kind of like a bit of a younger defense overall?
I think this year it's really not a difference. It's that now we know the standard and we know that we can't play to the standard once we all gel and we play together.
Yes.
It's no different. We still have that same message. We still have the same attitude. We're just going to keep rolling with that.
Saban always talks about not wasting a failure. How much have you watched that film from the championship game, and how much does that motivate you in this point in the year?
I watched it a couple of times, but after that, we had to get over it and we had to start back working on, the season that's coming up. We know the mistakes we made in that game. We know what hurt us. We know what didn't lead to us winning that game. So now it's just trying to, what do you do to get past that? How do you work? Fourth quarter was great. Spring football is going to be great for us, and that's what we're looking forward to right now.
Back over to Charlie.
I don't think we've talked to you since the national championship game. Just what was your reaction to Coach Saban kind of standing up and defending you and Bryce after the Georgia game?
I think that's that was a really trying to think of a word. That was just a really big moment for me. I know it's a very big moment for Bryce, just to show that, our head coach does care about us a lot. He does see the hard work that we put in, that goes into the team, and, how much respect he has for us. I think that speaks volume about Coach Saban and the type of person he is and the type of head coach he is, to show that he really does care about his players and he sees what they do every day, and it just means a lot. And I know it means a lot to Bryce as well.
When you go back home, are you recognized more based off what you did last year?
In the airport, everywhere. So I just kind of like try to wear a hoodie now and just keep my head down and roll me and my luggage onto just the terminal area.
Do you like that extra attention? And you said you put a hoodie on, but is it good
I mean,
in any aspect?
I think it just comes with, what you do, and you just have to roll with it. But for me, I don't really too much care for it.
Anything else, guys? Okay, Will.
Good. Thank you, guys.
You asked the quarterback faster with the interview.
Yep.
We're going to get him called down one of these days. All right, Josh. Thanks, Will.
He's pretty good.
Who was that?
Will Anderson.
Oh.
Yeah.
For Bryce, we'll start with Charlie.
I miss you guys, man. It's so much more personal now. Like, how's everyone? Everyone good? Everyone safe travels? I know, man. This is great.
I guess first things first, just how was your spring break? How'd you spend it? It's looked like you may have played some basketball and you had some fun, but also get some work in.
Yeah, spring break was great. I went back home, back to California. People I work with that I've been throwing with for a while are back there. So got to get some work in with them. Some other guys I used to train with. So it was good to, recharge for a week. And now, we're back to work.
Bryce, anyone that saw you after the national championship game could tell you took that really hard because you're a competitor. How long did it take you to get over that?
It took a little bit. Anytime, obviously something as national championship, that's something you dream of, something you work for. And when it doesn't go your way, it hurts. It hurts a lot. And, for me, it was kind of trying to transition from, just, the emotions of the game, the immediate emotions to, the anger you feel at yourself. And, you look back and wish you could have had plays back, moments back. And then you kind of have to snap out of that and then transition into, okay, it is what it is. You can't time travel. So, what am I going to do to improve, to get better, to learn from those mistakes? So, it's really been the process of turning that page for me and not looking at it as you want it back, but all right, I did this, that wasn't successful. What can I do to grow? And this is exactly what spring practice is for, is an opportunity for everyone on the team to get better, evaluate what they did last year and see what they can improve on. And I'm excited to get that process started.
In the middle of Michael, guys, let me announce you just so he knows where you're going. Okay, go to Michael.
In that vein, how much film do you watch of that Georgia game? Do you pour over that film and look at all the things, or is it something you watch it once and move on?
Yeah, I watched it once immediately, kind of following, and then that was more so just trying to look at everything, trying to process everything, and then I actually just watched it again recently, and this was just I watched a few. Just more now for self-scout. It was just a part of something that I watched for my self-scout stuff. So, now it's just, again, it's about looking at everything that I didn't do well last year, and then, learning how I can improve that.
Up front with Chase.
Bryce, when you kind of look around you on offense, there's a lot of changes, new tackles coming in, new wide receivers. Brian Robinson's gone. So a lot of personnel moving around you. What kind of an adjustment is it for you this spring to be dealing with so many new faces?
Yeah, there's a lot of new guys, a lot of new pieces. But when you go to a school like this, I mean, that's what you expect. There's always constant movement, people that are going to step into new roles. But there's a lot of guys that, even though maybe I guess the public didn't get to see play as much last year, those are guys that I still see working day in and day out last year behind the scenes, and guys that have done a lot of work to put themselves an opportunity to take advantage of these circumstances. And then there's the freshmen and the new guys that have come in, and it's really exciting to get to see them work, learn about them, strengths, weaknesses, just really see how they take to the offense. So spring is, there's always a lot of shuffling. There's always a lot of adjustments. So I think, for everyone on the team, it's a great time for us to, try to learn each other's strengths and weaknesses, kind of build that chemistry and learn together and grow together.
You guys might keep your hands up. Just raise them at the end.
Yeah, you talk about some of the things you're trying to work on looking back at that film. I mean, what are points of emphasis now? I mean, now that you have a year under your belt as a starter, I mean, what are some of the points of emphasis for you trying to get better as a quarterback?
Yeah, I feel like I just want to do a better job of having more control over the offense, making sure in the run game we're going to the right people. In the pass game, making sure that we're accounted for. Having clearing up a few reads, having a better post snap process as far as just as far as getting through reads, getting through progressions, and then I feel like a big challenge is making sure that as a unit, throughout the week we're all on the same accord, we're all clear, trying to do a better job of communicating with all my guys and making sure that we're on the same page when whenever I'm changing something or there's something that may not be as clear. And then of course now it's a lot about trying to build chemistry, timing with guys around me, making sure that we're all on the same page. And then there's a lot of stuff internally that I want to improve on, just with the regular stuff of accuracy and all that stuff, and then mentally again clearing some stuff. So there's really a long list for me. I feel like there's a lot of stuff once I've gone back, I've looked at the games, and I feel like there's a lot of stuff that I think I can do better and want to improve on. And I'm excited to we started last Friday, but now really get into it and start in spring, and I'm excited for me individually and us as a team to grow and push forward.
Do you have a relationship with Jermaine dating back to California? And then with a guy like that that's coming into the program, do you kind of like throw extra? Do you have side sessions to kind of get him kind of acclimated faster?
Yeah, Jermaine's someone that I knew before he transferred in. He was in California his last 2 years, and we've been same camps. We've been in the same circle. So he was someone that I knew before college, and when he's someone who came in and really has a really professional mindset as far as him early, right when he transferred in, wanting to know the plays, want to know the system, meeting with Wig, talking with me and asking me questions about how we did stuff, how our operation worked, certain routes, the specifics. So, he's someone who's worked hard to catch up as quickly as possible and kind of bridge that gap. And, before spring starts, you always, especially when it's newer faces, you get those sessions on the side of throwing and trying to get that chemistry down and get a feel for one another. So, we had a relationship before college, and, we've had some stuff before spring practice, and then getting our first practice in last Friday. And then now again, attacking it and having these 14 coming up is going to be big. So I'm excited for that.
A lot of new faces, but Coach O'Brien's back. Just what's it going to be like having the same OC and QB coach for the second year in a row and having that familiarity?
Yeah, that's huge. For me, me and OB are really close on and off the field. So for him to be back is huge for me. It's another year of us kind of, the first year, there's always when people are first, in this sport, when people first, come together, you have to feel each other out. And, you have to understand from both of our sides, what we like, what we don't like, kind of just our philosophies individually. And I feel like now we're always on the same page. And, for us to kind of continue that and push that relation forward, it's super exciting for me. So I'm super happy that, I get another year with OB, that he'll be back. And I'm excited for, the growth of this offense as a whole.
we'll go to Aaron right here.
I know it's early on, but Jahmyr Gibbs, you saw him some during bowl prep, and I'm sure you worked through the summer some with him. What have you seen from him?
Yeah, Jahmyr's worked really hard. He's done a great job of coming in, and again, he's someone who has really taken to the offense really well. Someone who's done the little things right in our conditioning. He's, every week he was winning an award for being one of the top performers. Someone who came in and looked good and worked and ran well last week. So again, I'm super excited again now as we have these, we're back to our normal spring schedule of every day, we're together, we're meeting or we're practicing. So, I'm excited to continue to work with him and to continue to, to see him be successful. So, it's exciting for me as well.
Okay, we'll do two more to your left, Bryce, and then we're going to take one from Dennis Dodd off soon. Go ahead, guys.
You lose a few big leaders off of last year's team and guys like Evan Neal, John Mechie, Brian Robinson. Is there anyone in the early spring period that has kind of already stepped up as a big vocal leader?
Yeah, it's always tough when you lose guys who played a big role not only on the field but off the field last year. But this year we've had some guys step up, Battle, DJ, obviously Will, who is who's been been a huge leader for us since he's been here. So those guys have really done a good job of stepping up and being being more vocal and understanding the role that they have. So with guys like that, when you lose anyone, it's always tough, but that's always been how Coach Saban has kind of approached this is when people leave, that creates value and opportunity for others. And, it's really encouraging to see guys take a step up and, take advantage of that. So I'm excited to, see how we take it as a team, as a leadership group.
One more on your left.
Back on Jahmyr, how can having a guy like that, like an incredibly dynamic pass catcher out of the backfield, change up what you guys do on offense a little bit this year?
Yeah, that's always a huge advantage. When you have someone explosive and dynamic that can make someone miss and make big plays down the field in the run and pass game, I feel like that's huge for us and especially for our system. It's something that we like to incorporate. So, I'm excited for Jahmyr and for the entire running back room to, we're getting guys back healthy, which is always good. And, for everyone in that room, it's extremely talented. It's extremely deep. So, all those guys have, different levels of experience in the system, but I have tremendous faith in all those guys.
Okay, we'll finish up on Zoom right here, Bryce, with Dennis.
Hey, Bryce, it's one thing to lose a championship game. It's another thing to get over it. But at what point do you realize and sit there, okay, if we want to get back, 9 more months, lifting all those weights, 120 practices, does that ever go through your mind about just starting over again and having to get over that hill to get to where you want to be?
I think it was immediately after the game for us in the locker room, understanding where we want to be and where we want to get back towards. Again, there's different phases of it, and then you have to see what you're working on and what you're getting better. But for us, it's not a huge, it's how Coach Saban tells us every day is approach every day. Like it's just, it's the biggest day, and to not have too much of a look forward, you have to be where your feet are. So for us, we're not thinking about things down the road. We're not thinking about things we can't control. We're not thinking about, for us, it's about thinking about today. How can we, for me, how can I get better? How can we as a team get better today in today's practices and locking in today's meetings and learn? So, we really have that approach about it as it being a day by day thing. And we understand that, if we listen to the coaches, we work as hard as we should, everything can take care of itself.
All right, Bryce, thanks for your time.
Appreciate it.